Now let's talk Big Boys. Big Boys is a Channel 4 comedy that is written by a comedian called Jack Rook, and it's autobiographical. And it has some similarities with Bridget Jones because this deals a lot at the beginning, definitely, with grief. There's three seasons. There's only ever going to be three seasons. It ended recently with the third season. And so obviously Jack Rook wrote it. So the main character is called Jack, played by Dylan Llewellyn from he's the wee English fella from Derry Girls, and he yeah, and so he plays this guy. He plays Jack, and Jack is a guy. When the first time we meet him, he's just about to go off to uni for the first time. He's about to go off to uni, leaving the home, leaving his mom. But about a year, a bit before he went to uni, he lost his dad. He lost his dad to cancer, and that is just really kind of like it sits with him. It's a big thing that so much so that he was supposed to go to uni a year before, but he had to defer because he got up one day and he just couldn't leave bed. And he just really didn't leave his room for a year and just sat down with his mom watching daytime TV and Strictly and all that kind of stuff. And then he finally sort of gets up and goes, I need to go. And when he goes to uni, and it's a big chance for him to sort of explore his sexuality because he knows he's gay, but he never told his parents. So he never got a chance to tell his dad before his dad died. He's never told his mom, and he doesn't want to put more on his mom because he's like, she's dealing enough with my dad being gone, and so he goes to university, and it's a lot of it is about the group of friends that he meets when he gets to university, and how he sort of like starts exploring his own. He starts exploring that, and he starts going like, this is the first time I'm actually going to be able to live my life and figure out what does it mean to be gay? What does it mean for me to actually go out there as a gay person? And this show is brilliant. It is brilliant in that it is a comedy. There's bits that will make you laugh out loud, and then it will turn this round, and then all of a sudden there will be just something that's just so, like, the pathos of it will just be so great. And I think if I was going to boil this film down to one word or one, I think if they were going to say what the thesis of this show, what is this show about? It's about kindness. And it just comes through everywhere. Every now and then, there will always be these acts of kindness because when he gets to university, he meets this guy, Danny, who ends up being his best friend. But Danny is kind of like, your typical lad who is like, goes, come on, Jack, yeah, let's go out there. We got to go out on the pool. We got to go pull some freshers and everything like that. I came to university to find women and sleep with them and all that kind of stuff. And so he looks exactly like, your typical meathead bloke. And that character, for me, is the heart of the show. The character is the heart of the show. It is there's a voiceover done by the actual guy, Jack Rook, who he voices over the show and everything like that. But the way he does the voiceover, immediately from the first season, it made me think, oh my God, I think this is how this show is going to end. And why is it being done that way? And why is it being... I wouldn't tell you... Essentially, when you watch the show, you understand what I'm talking about with the voiceover. Like, why is the voiceover being done in that way? It is putting me on edge. It is putting me on serious edge, but you end up loving the characters. There's Jack and Danny. There is a Scottish girl called Corinne. There's a guy who's kind of like his gay agony aunt who sort of takes his hand and leads him through the world of being out and gay, called Yemi, who is like a Nigerian guy who is, and it's just. The cast of characters is brilliant. The jokes are great. The pathos and the drama is wonderful. And this is almost a sieve. It's a sieve.
Excuse me.
Imagine if one of Bridget Jones's... Sharon, this is just for you. Sorry, Sean, this won't make any sense. But imagine if one of Bridget Jones's kids was going off to university and she was left at home, like, without Mark Darcy. That's what his mom is like. And his mom is played by Kamel Kaduri. And oh my God, she is brilliant. And when it goes to the whole thing about... how do I deal with the fact that I still love this man who isn't around, but I've got to move on with my life, and then how the nan, so her husband's mom, sort of like helps her along with it, and her husband's niece, who is like a character called Shannon. It's a brilliant cast of characters. Everybody's firing on all cylinders, and the writing is brilliant. It is brilliant. It is heartfelt. It is kind. It is wonderful, and I love it. I think you should go see it. And there's a lot of the stuff is about how heart-rending the final is. The finale is that just finished recently. It is heartrending, but it was kind of coming right from the very beginning. Like, you kind of knew that was it. So I would give Big Boys 4 out of 5. I think it's great. I recommend anybody watch it. And it's a very high 4. It's a very high 4. It's almost a 5, but the only reason I wouldn't give it a 5 is the same reason it took me so long to watch it. When everybody else raves about something, there's a bit of me that just kind of goes, well, fine then. I don't care. It's like you're only raving about it because it's kind of like you're only raving about it because it's cool to rave about it now, just because it's a band talking about his first experiences as a gay person, and all of a sudden, like, you're just sort of like virtue signaling and everything like that. And so I didn't watch it for a while. Then I watched it and I thought, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, everything they said about it is true. It is all that. It is good. Oh, well, yeah, and that's the only reason I won't give it a 5, because I feel like everybody else is. But but yeah, I think it's a very, very high form, very, very high form.